Hi everybody, welcome to my loft on this May 30th, 2025. I'm Rusty Blackwood. I welcome you to my loft today. I'm here to do another video, and before I begin or get into it too far, I'm going to do and model my outfit here that a lot of people have requested that I do each video that I do. And so hang on with me while I get up here and show you my outfit today. Today I am in total satin. Back up here so you can see. It is a satin midi skirt, leopard print from H&M, I believe. English shop here in St. Catharines. Either H&M, H&R. It's quite some time since I've been there. I'm going to put my camera up a little higher here. It's not just showing everything here. So hopefully, I hate it when the camera doesn't get everything in the frame properly. So now you can see the outfit a little bit better. As I say, it's a midi length leopard print satin skirt with a cropped long sleeved chocolate brown satin shirt from RIMMEL. And this scarf that I'm wearing over top, leopard print scarf, is from, let me see, Temu, I believe. And so, as you can see, and my stilettos today are suede print, leopard print. You can see them. I will show them when I sit down as well, because it's a little hard when you're just trying to model in a situation like this where there's not a camera to follow you as you model the outfit that you're wearing. And so you can see the back of it. And so now I'm going to bring you over into my set. To be perfectly honest, this is my third attempt at my video today. The very first one wouldn't play when I got finished and put it on my computer. I don't know what was wrong, but it wouldn't play. And so I tried again, and then I had to recharge my laptop. I should have had it plugged in before I began, but it said it had a full charge, and obviously it was reading wrong because it wasn't very long. I didn't have anything. So yada yada yada. So now I'm back again with my hopefully final attempt for this video today. So I hope you enjoy it, because I am working for it today. So I'm going to have some coffee, everybody, in my giant cup that was given to me about 3 or 4 years ago for Christmas by my eldest daughter-in-law, Serene, who is also a great supporter of my work. She reads everything that I write, has done that from the beginning when I first published, and great supporter, and I am so blessed to have that. And as well as my eldest granddaughter, Carson, supports my work. She is also my exclusive photographer, and for my PR shoots that she and I do. Haven't done one in a while. It'll soon be time to do another. But she always makes me look great. And so, and there again, I am so appreciative of that. So cheers, everybody. My coffee is now cold, but it's still good. And so, today I am going to show you and reveal to you, I've done this on my media sites, my assorted media sites online already, but I haven't done a video since the reveal of the cover of Before the Grandeur, the making of a horse master. And so I'm going to show you now. This is just a print off copy. This is Before the Grandeur, the making of a horse master. I hope you can see it well when you're trying to hold things up to a camera like this to see. So, and now I will read the back cover synopsis. So bear with me here. I want to get myself together so that I can see. Choosing one's path in life can often be an overwhelming assortment of unanswered quandaries. When it hands you nothing but poverty, strife, and little chance of survival, the quandary seems impossible to resolve. For the deprived young Englishman Cyril Landon, born into this stricken world of poverty just prior to World War I, the road in every aspect appeared hopeless. The small village of South Woodchester, Gloucestershire, England, offered little for its residents, and for young Cyril, the chance of success in any field appeared far removed from his grasp. But life underestimated this young man, for he was filled with determination, grit, and an endless drive to achieve much better than his station in life was offering, and he would not settle for less. A laborer's situation at a local farm outside his village provided a window into a possible future, one he had never given thought to, but through encouragement, plus a growing passion and respect for horses, an entire future was suddenly revealed. Young Cyril would willingly step through a door now opened, a door that would open many more, and he could not wait to see where they would lead him, or where they would lead. Little did he know at that time just how far his choice would take him. Delve into the pages of Before the Grandeur, the making of a horse master, the edifying prequel to the thrilling autumn trilogy of books by Rusty Blackwood, certain to immerse you into the equestrian world of professional racing, concealed secrets, and an unfaltering love that will encase your heart. So, watch for that. Again, I plan to release this book. I'm totally immersed in it right now, creating it, of course, writing it. But I hope to be able to release it very late this fall. And if not, then it will be in 2026, the springtime or whenever. There was a time I used to almost panic when I would think about how long the time frame had gone in between the publication of a book that I had released. And but like so many things that used to once bother me, it doesn't. If it's a longer span in time of a new book being presented, then it's just a longer time. And things that I guess I'm maturing as a writer, because I used to, things that once bothered me so much about the fields, and you know, what was I doing? Was I doing it right? Or what excuse have I got? This type of thing. But as time goes by, you learn to settle down. You learn to not be upset if you haven't produced something in a while. Because I have come to find, like myself, when I read a book, or I have authors whose work I like to read, you appreciate it more when sort of, you have to wait a little bit of time. They always say good things come to those who wait. I mean, I'm not talking about waiting 10 years for another book, or even 5 years for another book, from the time the last, which would have been Return to Autumn Part 2. And before I continue on, I wrote, the Return to Autumn was the sequel to The Perils of Autumn, which was the first book in what has become now the Autumn Trilogy, and with the publication and edition of Before the Grandeur, will turn this then into the Autumn series of books. But when I was getting to the end of The Perils of Autumn, that I released in 2019, I had decided that I was going to carry it on. I was going to write a sequel, because I wasn't finished with the story, and I didn't want to turn it into a grand scale novel. And so I decided that I was going to write a sequel called Return to Autumn. Well, and I mentioned that in the very end of The Perils of Autumn, so readers would be aware that there was going to be a continuation of this story. And so when I started writing Return to Autumn, there again, the story kept flowing to me, and in order to prevent a grand scale novel, I decided to do it in 2 parts. So this was the reason behind the 2 Return to Autumn, and then Return to Autumn 2. And so that was just the way it happened, the way it came to me. And I'm sure all authors could probably, when they speak about their work and different things that have happened throughout their writing careers, with their work, and how this novel had come to be, and how that novel would come to fruition and then be published. For me, that is the way it unfolded, and so I'm very, very pleased with this series of books, and I am very much enjoying writing the prequel, Before the Grandeur. I had decided to do that. I didn't mention that I was going to do that at the end of Return to Autumn 2. That was just going to be the very end of it. But I thought, well, Cyril Landon, one of the lead characters in the story, I admired him. I oftentimes had said, if I had the power to create the perfect mate for me, it would be Cyril Landon. So many of his traits and much of his personality would coincides with mine. It is the same, and the love of horses, the passion for horses, and riding, and just that whole world. In the country, I set the series in Kentucky, and I mean, myself, I've never been to Kentucky, but I follow the Triple Crown series each year, and here in Canada, we also have a Triple Crown series, and I am a country girl. I grew up in the country, wide open spaces, beautiful fields, beautiful pastures, and horses grazing in the pastures. Now, mind you, these weren't thoroughbreds. A lot of them were light Clydesdales. They were used for work, and but they also were very rideable, and I used to ride. And then I had horses of my own. I had a pony when I was a little girl, a little Shetland pony. His name was Pal. He was blind in his right eye, and so I had Pal, and then my first husband and I had a Welsh hackney filly named, what was her name? Oh, it just went right out of my head. It will come back to me. And then my second husband and I, we had a beautiful, huge 17-hand gelding that, no, pardon me, wasn't a gelding. He was a stallion. He hadn't been gelded. And he was part quarter horse, part miniature Clydesdale. Black and white pinto named Demon Diablo. Oh, it was like when you rode him, it was like sitting in a rocking chair. There was no pounding. There was no, like almost bone-breaking, snapping going on with your body when you rode him. Of course, if you're riding properly, that's not supposed to be happening with whatever you're riding, whatever horse breed you're riding. But Demon was so smooth, and it was a long ways down, 17 hands high. That is a large boy, and he was a sweetheart. And then we had a little colt, a little sorrel, little stallion named Shiloh. We only had him for a brief period of time. He was just not even quite a yearling when we had him. And I was expecting my youngest son, Jason, at that time. And the finances weren't rolling, and so, you gotta make your choice. You keep your horse, keep your child. So, of course, there was no question there. And so we found Shiloh a good home. And I've often thought about Shiloh after all these years. This was in 1976, 75, 76. And so Shiloh now would be not with us anymore anyway, and nor Demon, nor of course long ago with Pal and Roxy. That was the Welsh hackney. And my first husband, he went on to train and got his license to drive standardbreds, sulkies. They're the kind that pull the little carriages behind. And it used to really bother me watching Louis, because I would have much preferred he be on the back of the horse rather than riding behind, because those carriages, the wheels on them are like bicycle wheels. They're very thin, and there was some drivers that would try to, if you were getting too close to the finish or whatever, try to bang into you to any interference that they could do. Well, sometimes those wheels could lock, and then there'd be a pile up, and the drivers could be injured, the horses could be injured, and I felt it was a very dangerous sport. I still do. I would much prefer, I prefer thoroughbred racing and jockeys on the backs of these beautiful, noble beasts. And the same with hunters and show class and events and things like this, jumping, dressage, and all the different aspects in the world of equestrian. And so that was that, and I grew up loving horses and never losing a passion for horses. I would trail ride. I would ride whenever I had the opportunity, and I still would if I had the chance. I still would get up on the back of a horse and ride. I'm not afraid of falling. I almost fell one time, and it was just the grace of God that saved me, because I was riding bareback, and my girlfriend and I had taken these two horses out. They were like Clydesdales. They could have almost been carriage horses, and we were in a field back of her father's barn, and we had set up some little jumps, which we shouldn't have been doing to begin with, because those breeds of horses are not jumpers. But we did, just to see. It was only like a foot high, maybe, if that, just to see if they would jump, because they could have just barreled right through them, but they jumped, and so you got the sensation of what it would be like on the back of a hunter going over a jump, and so this was a female. Her name was Dolly. She was a big black, light Clyde, and she belonged to the neighbor from my girlfriend's father, and he was so good to let me take her out. Of course, he didn't know about the jumping, that type of thing, because my heavens, had he known, rightfully so, he would have refused me. And I was going down the roadway where we had these jumps, and they were just made out of planks that would just give way very easily. If the horse had kicked it, it would have just fallen down on the ground. And nothing stationary. No jump is stationary. If the horse's hooves hit it, the rails are put in so that they're going with the horse, like they're not against the horse. So if the horse's hooves connect, front or back, the rails just let out and fall, and so that saves the horse stumbling and falling, and you can't have that. And so so this one particular day, Dolly was running, and she was going over these jumps, and she kept running while because not in a saddle, I got off side and started to slip and fall, and I had put my hands. She didn't have a bridle on either, just a halter, and so there was no control in the mouth at all. So I just grasped my fingers into her mane. She had a very long flowing mane, and I wrapped my fingers, my hands into there, and was hanging on, and I was going off to the left, and so I dug my heel of my right foot into where I could get it, and hanging on for dear life, and asking Dolly, hollering, "Whoa, Dolly, whoa, Dolly," and I was down far enough that I could see her legs, and had I gone down, it's hard to tell whether I would have just rolled free, or whether I would have got connected into Dolly's legs. I don't know. I hate to think. I'm glad I didn't have to find out. And, thank you. Because, oh heavens, I mean, I could have got killed if one of those hooves had ever hit me in the head. It would have killed me. And, or I would have been out cold for a while, that's for sure. And but I didn't go down. She managed to stop, and then I just slipped down off of that way and down on the ground. But I was okay, and just led her over under the shade trees and let her have a rest, and me have a rest as well. And so, but I never forgot that. But it never turned me off of riding. I never ever had a bad spell. But even if you did, you got right back up as soon as you could, if you could, and got back on, because otherwise you wouldn't. And so enough of that. I'm very proud of this series of books. It was a long time choice of mine to write about horses, and of course there's a lot more. It's just not horses. I mean, you can tell, yes, it centers around equestrian life, but it's I took three things into consideration when I planned this series, or originally The Perils of Autumn, and that was writing about my horses, because it was one of my passions, my respect of nurses, and also my respect for single mothers who were born, who had children back in the 40s and 50s, the way society was then, and the way a single mother and her child were treated. And so thankfully that has changed over the course of time. She wasn't a single mother by choice. She lost her husband in an accident prior to her marriage taking place, and that left her with her little girl, Autumn, and the trials and tribulations Abigail, the mother, went through with Autumn to try to make a living, and ends up being taken in by a kindly elderly woman, Lucy Perkins, in her dress shop, and Lucy lived upstairs and took Abigail and Autumn in, and helped her, and helped them, I should say, and left her shop to Abigail, and that allowed Abigail to be able to put Autumn through nursing school, and through that, Autumn comes to Landon Lawn Stables in the Meadows, and then the story really takes off. And this series is available on all Amazons in paperback, Kindle, and hardback, and you can also go to your local bookstore, to their order desk, and order a copy. You know the name, and you know my name, and that's all you need, and they can get you a copy in. And so, and if you should read my work, I've had some great reviews for all of my work, but definitely for this series. And reviews are the best thing any book can have, because it's the reviews that make the book, because it's the reviews that allow people to read the reviews and see what the reviewer has to say, and they give a good review. I've managed to have mostly all 5-star reviews, but 4 stars are nothing to sneeze at, and they're good as well. And but should you buy a copy, please give me a review. I've had all kinds of editorial reviews, and I've had professional readers' reviews and things on these books. But just to have an everyday reader read a book, and then the best thing you can do is write a review. Contact the author on their website, or write to them, because usually the email addresses are always available. Mine is writerrusty@hotmail.ca, and you can get that on my website, rusty-blackwood.com, and let me know. Get in touch with me and let me know. If you like the book, give it a review, recommend it to your friends or your family, because that is the best marketing you can have. Because if someone has read a book, they know what the book contains, and so therefore their recommendation comes with some weight, because they know what the story is about, and so therefore it can help other people to read the book as well. Go and get a copy, or if you don't purchase a copy, of course I don't make anything off of that, but if you don't purchase a copy and you just take a friend's copy or whatever, the least I think you can do is leave me a review or recommend it to your friends or your family. And so, so that's that for today. I'm at my 30-minute mark already. It just takes a bit of time up when I do the model before I get into the body of the video. And so I am going to close for today. And so, oh yes, I was going to show you the stilettos. There they are. That's what they look like. And so, and they were from Shein, and I buy a lot of things. I do a lot of my professional wardrobe is from Shein and Temu, because they're affordable, and when you have to have different outfits to present yourself in your videos, then you have to have some place where you have endless designs to choose from and affordability first and foremost. And so I'm going to leave you for today. I'm going to ask you to please like this video. Please comment the video if you would. Please share it on, and please subscribe to my channel here. Just make sure you click the notification bell, and then you'll be notified each time I put out a new video. You'll get notification. And so I hope you will do that. I welcome all new subscribers. I very much thank all the old subscribers that have been with me for a very, very long time. I'm pushing 10,000, and I'd like to get up over 10,000 before the year is out. And so with your help and your kindness, that can happen. And so I want to wish God's generous and wonderful loving blessings to each of you out there. And do take care of yourself. Stand strong and stay well. And I will see you again soon. For now, peace out.